a heads up. So we're trying to explain what's going on in February and how to deal with it, so we're not being misled. Some of the trust talks about their salaries and about the offers is not really quite true. So if President Duterte will like hear that, the president will like just say, if it is too good to be true, like that. So President Duterte will just like talking like that if he can hear some trust talks running around. So it's so misleading. So I just like to share the facts and figures. So what we are doing now is like we're putting numbers and figures on what's really going on about dairy. Good evening, cowboys and cargoes in New Zealand. Cowboy IG at your service. Hey, just here at office, I'd like to give a heads up for all of us. Like, I will share this video hopefully explain a little bit further of what's happening in this time of the year. So it's February, and this month our employers will like approach us and dealing questions with us, and some of us like just interpret that kind of approach is confrontation, but it's just mainly heads up, like in the cowboys way. If I already tied my nuts at the cows and I already put my other hands on top, so if the guys holding the gate ask me, "Are you ready, cowboy?" And I don't need to give an F to him that yeah or nah. I just like nod my head or shake my head. So if I nod my head, they will open the gate and go. Here we go. So it's the same as this one. It's a mean time of the year. Like it means for it will be mean for the employer if we get out, or it will be mean for us if the employer say that they cannot keep us anymore. So like after February, they are terming it as unethical or unprofessional if we leave the job. But everybody got all of us got a right to leave the job if we don't like it. But hopefully this topic will help us how to like spot the right spot. So it will be like a link from my previous video, like we can just spot which is which, really, like the good thing that we're looking after. So thing that will help us to decide whether we stay or we go is the deep understanding about the career we're like doing, and the role that we mainly playing. So like we need to understand that we're part of the business, and the business needs a profit, and the profit needs to be dealt with the fair thing. Like we don't need to be exploited, and we don't need to be abusive. So sometimes we're like just thinking that it's okay, but in the part of our boss it's already an abuse. We're like it's unfair to them that we are doing that. So like that, and like the business is there for the profit. So there's trust talks that running around that I want to correct. Like it gives mislead to those managers that want that certain figure too, but it's too impossible. Like if we tell that figure to the President Duterte, the president will like say something the same as what he said before. Like if it is too good to be true, then I will go for it. Like that. So that's what President Duterte said about some I cannot declare the term. It's just like a hyperbole thing of a figure. So, and I want to correct it because business is for a profit, and a profit needs a budget. So in order to gain a profit, you need to have a financial year budget, and the budget will like in line with the KPIs, and KPIs will then deal the 10 portion. Like KPIs, you need to have a financial key performance indicator and the physical key performance indicator. So it will deal like the numbers and figures on effective milking area or hectares. Like you cannot consider, or we cannot put to the effective the block that the support block, or the block that the replacement grazing. So we need to fix our effective block. So our KPIs like go along with benchmarking too. Like the business needs a profit, and the profit needs a budget, financial budget, and the budget will go along the KPI, and the KPI needs to be benchmarked from the previous year, the future year, and the other farms. So it will be benchmarked in the same level and the same gauge. So so as I said, we need to deal with the KPIs on effective milking hectares, operating profit per hectare. So it means that we need to deal with the gross revenue and the gross operating expenses. We also need to deal the return on capital, return on the asset, and return on equity. So the ROC or ROC, the ROA or ROA, and the ROE or RO. So number 4 is we need to deal with expenses per kilograms of milk solid. Of milk solid, we need to deal with the farm working expenses. So about the salary, I talked about last time that the salary needs to be like in line with below 1.1 milk, $1.1 per milk solid. So and in order for the employer just keep us to work and don't try to find what we call that contract milker that just he will just pay 1.2. So that's it. The farm with the in expenses per kilograms of milk solid, need to deal the farm working expenses, we need to deal the operating expenses, we need to deal the cost of production. So as I talked to my previous videos, that the cost of production is the main driver of the profit. So 70% of the profit is coming from the cost of production. How we deal with it, and how we like try to control the cost of production. And number 5, the KPIs also rely on the imputed management. So some of the management are just like, it's not being still from the manager, and it's not being what they call that, being underpaid. But sometimes things are just works as what it is. So no dramas, no claims, everybody is happy. The business can have a bit of money from that imputed management. So that's the one that I want to what we call that I want to cite. Like I want to put it in the figure. Like in dairy, there's already in the industry there's a set up for the managers that have an what we call that minimum wages or minimum salary of 50,000 NZD per financial year for any farm that below 160 cows. So that's the figure. So that's as like outside from immigration adjustments. That's the figure. And the second is the maximum. $120,200 per year for cows that above 1,300 or 1,300 cows. So that's the figure. So that's the figure that the employer needs to pay for every manager. But sometimes there's an imputed or unpaid management that deals inside with it. So the things just go along. Like if you work with it, there's also what we call that between 160 to 600. $60 cows to 600. There's additional $80 per cow that the employer needs to pay to the manager. So that's the right figure. So if we put an example like the 200 example EG, the 250 cows equals if we like base in 160 for 50,000, and there's another we can put that in the calculator. So here's my calculator. So with 250 minus 160 equals 250 minus 160 equals another 90 cows times 80. So 90 times 80 equals 7,200. It means that if you're managing 250 cows, you need to be paid $57,000 in a year. And another example is if we got 650 cows, so if we say 650 minus 160 base equals 490. So minus 160 equals 490 times $80 per cow. So 490 times 80 equals another 39,200. So 50,000 plus 50,160 equals, you need to have a salary of 89,200 in $600 in 650 cow. So that's the real figure, that there's no misleading. That's an industry and that's a science. So that's like outside from the immigration arrangement. if we say that there will be like 120,000 salary maximum for above 1,300. So after like what do you call that, 600 to in between. So like it's the same in here, like in between 600 to 13 cows, there's additional $50 per cow. So like per cow on 85,200 base salary, management for 600 cows. So 600 is 85,200. So if we give an example, if we managing 800 cows, and so minus 600 was 200 cows times 50. So 200 times 50 equals 10,000 $10,000 plus the 85,200, equals managing 800 cows needs to have 95,000 $95,200. So I can cite like nearly the imputed thing here, like just a savings. Like if I will give an example. Some of the managers managing 800 cows are just like having a salary of 70. We will compare comparison of what's going on, like 800 cows on 70,000. So it's supposed to have 95,200. So minus equals that's 15,200 imputed management. So there's something like that, but deal are deals. Like if it's like really just goes flow and mixed right, so no dramas, no claims. That 15,200 will like added to the financial gain or the profit. So that will become like that. So the KPI, sometimes if we like do the maths and things are just works. The business got the profits through it. So that's the thing that I want to like make clarity tonight, because that's the number 5 of the KPIs that can bring us the profit. So number 6 is the milk solid kilograms per milk solid kilogram production, and 7 is the pasture harvest, and 8 is the feed cost, 9 is the feed consumed by the cows or per cows, and 10 is the stocking rate. So that's the what we call that KPIs that we needs to have a heads up with it and deeply understand about it, so we can decide if we stay or go. If somebody's offering us like a pair salary without the imputed one, without the unpaid one, then that's better. But you know, if we're like putting a lot of price for ourselves and our own KPI will not support us, you know, each managers got its own KPIs, like key performance indicator too. Like if we give an example that just really too easy to gauge how your performance doing in a certain farm that you're running, you can just do it. So some of the people's like just saying, this guy is always boosting himself, like always comparing what he get and what the others get, and what the last year and what's the next target. So that's like that. So it's very necessary about the business, I frankly tell you. It's not boosting really, and like this. So we're trying to impress ourselves that I'm really doing good, like that. We're appreciating ourselves, but by benchmarking and by tackling some KPIs, we can gauge how we perform. Like if we have 420 cows, example, and we end up drying of just 350 cows. So 350 divided by 420, that's around 14 to 15%. So that's the cows wastage. So the topic of the cows there at the topic of the cows, we need to monitor our wastage. So wastage composes by the empty cows, cull cows, and the deaths. So empty cows need to be controlled not more than 10%. The cull cows needs to be controlled not more than 5%. The deaths needs to be controlled not to be more than 3%. So if you add it 10, 5, 3, that's 18%. So we're just like being limited to set that target for us to, that's a key performance indicator that we can gauge our performance, we can gauge our profit. So if it's happened that the dry up numbers, so the final dry up numbers is just 350 in 420 cows, that's around 14 to 15% which is you're pretty safe and you're doing good. That's it. But if here comes that like you lose your belt, you lose your belt, and not that pretty attention to details, and just end up like drying of 320 out of 420 cows, that's 100 cows lost. So we put it in calculator. So 320 divided by 420 equals 320 divided by 420 equals 320 divided by 420 equals, that's what we call that, 76% of your 76% of your, what we call that, 76% of 76% of your total herd, pig cows. So times 100 equals 76. So 100 minus 76 equals your 24%, your 24% wastage if you do that, if it ends up like that. So you can compare now. If the previous year is 15 and now you're 24, then the benchmark frankly tell that you're losing your belt, you're not holding the line. So the business is not earning the same as what it was last year. So that's how it is, how also the KPIs and the benchmarking help us. So I hope all of those figures that I gave can help. There might be a follow-up video that I will make. It will like tackle one by one. So as of now, I just tackle the subjects of like I just like putting stress about the topic of this this, what we call that, imputed management, or the unpaid management. So like that's one that can bring us what we call that, that can bring us profit, because you know, if I put another example in here, managing what we call that, 1,000 cows, the salary that you need to give to the manager is 100 and put it in the calculator, 105,000. So if he's already happy with the 90,000, then you can keep the rest of the money as like additional to your return. So if we talking about KPIs in dairy, I will show you this. KPIs in dairy farming is like there's two KPIs, some financial KPIs and physical KPIs. So financial KPIs is operating profit per hectare, farm working expenses, kilograms milk solid, operating return on dairy asset by percentage, return on equity by percentage, growth in equity by percentage too, discretionary cash, and the physical is talking about cow efficiency in milk solid, percentage in each cow's live weight, pasture eaten in tons dry matter per hectare, and energy eaten by megajoules of metabolizable energy per hectare, and total supplement use. So some needs like some also like try to ask if the value of the house is included to that offer. So the same as like other business guys, other what we call that, other establishment or ventures. If we work in McDonald's at Auckland or KFC in Auckland, we get salary like that. KFC doesn't put what we call that, or doesn't provide our house rent. So we will take the house rent inside with that package. So the same in here in the farming. So doesn't matter if the boss will keep the money after the tax or after the house gambles, but it's not his obligation to give you a house, so he will take a rent for it. So rent is included for that calculation. So rent is taxable, and even immigration is like honor the rent as what we call that as an equivalent wages. So I hope I like make some sense now, like I can help you to think if you like really want to move, or your boss can still have an allowance to give you the increase or not anymore, or you're really like doing the performance. So KPIs in I will tell you some brief KPIs about the dairy business. So in the cow side, you need to gauge the kilograms milk solid per cow in a season. The BC is milk solid percentage compared to body weight. So rule of the thumb, what is body weight in the whole year? It is the capacity of the cows to give the milk solid. So it's up to you how you take care of their body condition by monitoring the feed and sick cows. So you need also to monitor the animal health. So what's the budget, and you need to go under that budget. So somatic cell count, so KPIs on somatic, you need to maintain, or you need to have an average of 150,000 in a year, because above 150 it means you get a lot of transfer and you're using a lot of medicine that can cost a lot in animal health. So cow wastage, that one that I said, so not more than 18%. So 6 weeks in cow rate, so you need not below 79%. So in 2015, cows that not being pregnant in first 6 weeks, the employers already lose 180 per cow dollar. So that's the thing. So the breeding budget, so if you're a manager that want to claim something, that want to take all of that imputed management, if you want to take it all, you need to prove your boss that you are the what they call that, the orgi.com skills. You get really the skills of orgi. So like in Tagalog thing, pag lumingon ka, akin ka. So alam mo kung sino yung mga bakang naglalandi, kung sino yung malandi. So ganun. So dry cow therapy, through process, you can cut the expenses about the dry cow therapy. So minerals, so timing and the wastage. So sometimes it's just a waste to use it and not in the timing. So supplements, pasture, it means pasture, intakes, the conversions, the understandings about it. So all of it point out to really like having a KPI is also up there. So in pasture, you can have a direct KPIs about kilograms milk solid per hectare in a season, kilograms diameter harvest or tons harvest per hectare per season, the feed conversion efficiency, so not more than 15, supplement use, so if not necessary then why using, surplus cutting cost, so making silage, how much it's cost if you just like try to feed it to the cows and make money with it in a certain time. So pasture rejuvenation, pasture care, so during the wet time, how to how to manage the pagging damage, how to manage the overgrazing, and also the weed control. So that's all the pasture. So in assets, you need to be very careful about repairs and maintenance. You need to have a heads up about your depreciation, your amortization, the valuation, how much your equity. So that's all of the asset. If you already know that, then it's time for you to claim those unpaid management. So in people's KPIs for people's, weeds is equivalent not more than 1.1. So stops needs also to be gauges about the turnovers. So not that much turnovers, because training a stops in a certain year cost you a 15 grand. So for him to be settled as doing the standards of what's going on in your what's running in your park. So the immigration requirements, training, health and well safe, that's some of the KPIs for the staffs and people, the efficiency and effectiveness of the people. So you need also to train them how to maximize efficient. So I think I tackled some of the topics already, and I just like put a stress on those like industry standard about wages. So nobody can like engage such, no employer, no businessman can engage such like too much spending about wages if the guy that working for him cannot cut some of those KPIs on cows, assets and pastures. So it comes along in a certain, it's a certain period of time and certain capacity of certain individual. I think that's all. See you next time. Cheers.